Hi everyone. So this is your solutions for this week's assignment. So yes, feel free to pause the video so that way you could follow along. Now, question number one. Mr. Minogue sleeps 7 hours a day. The amount of sleep is 1 hour less than twice the amount Ms. Yin sleeps a day. So the question is, how long does Ms. Yin sleep? So when you're solving word problems, it's always good to write what you know and so that way you and what you don't know, right? So let's just read the question again. Mr. Minogue sleeps 7 hours a day. All right. So I'm gonna put here Mr. Minogue, and I sleep for 7 hours a day. The amount of sleep is 1 hour less than twice the amount of Ms. Yin sleeps a day. So twice the amount Ms. Yin sleeps a day. I don't know how long Ms. Yin sleeps, so I'm just gonna say y as my variable. Okay. So the amount of sleep is 1 hour less than twice the amount Ms. Yin sleep. So we know that it is twice the amount. So it's going to be 2y. Now it says here, the amount of sleep is 1 hour less. Less than. Is it 1 minus 2y or is it 2y minus 1? It is actually 2y minus 1. Okay. So 2y minus 1 equals to 7. So this is my equation, okay? So now this is a two-step equation, so we can solve it. Now we need to add 1 on both sides, and I should get 2y equals to 8. And then, oh, sorry, yeah, it's a two-step equation. So after I will divide by 2 on both sides, y equals to 4. That means Ms. Yin sleeps 4 hours a day. I don't know if that's true or not. I usually sleep way longer than that. All right, so let's look at the next question. A classroom's length is 3 meters less than 2 times its width. If the length of the classroom is 9 meters, determine its width. We don't know what the width is, so let's just call it W. Okay, so I'm just going to draw my picture. We don't know what my width is. I'm just going to put my width here. So this is length and width, right? But we don't know what, we know that our length is 9. So I'm just going to redraw this again. We know that our length is 9, but we need to find what the width is. So let's read. A classroom's length. So a classroom's length is 3 meters less than 2 times its width. 2 times its width. Is it going to be 3 minus 2w, or is it going to be 2w minus 3? Isn't that very similar to this question here? So it is 2w minus 3. And we know that our length is already 9. So let's just rewrite this again. 9 equals 2w minus 3. Okay. Now we need to get rid of negative 3. So we're going to add 3 on both sides. And I should get 12 equals 2w. And then to find w, I have to divide by 2 on both sides. And I should get 6. So that way my width is now 6. 6 meters. Okay. So again, feel free to pause the video so that way you can write this down on your notes. Now, question 3. During a basketball match, Mr. Minogue had a total of 41 more than half the number of shots on goal as Ms. Yin. If Mr. Minogue had 173 shots on goal, how many did Ms. Yin have? So again, let's just read the question. We know that Minogue has 173 shots on goal, but this is 41 more than one half the number of shots as Ms. Yin. We don't know how much is Ms. Yin, so we're just going to put Ms. Yin as y again. So let's read. Um, Half the number of shots on goal as Ms. Yin. All right, so do you agree with me that it's going to be W divided by 2, right? Because if you think about it, if Ms. Yin has 180 and I have half the shots, 180 divided by 2 would be 90, right? But we don't know what Ms. Yin is, so y divided by 2, okay? And this is 41 more than. So it's going to be y over 2 plus 41 equals 173. So this is a two-step equation. We are just going to subtract 41 on both sides. And I should get y divided by 2 equals 132. And Ms. Yin actually scored 66. Yeah, no, sorry. Ms. Yin, so I guess you're gonna times 2, isn't it? So, Ms. Yin actually scored 264. Oh, that's a lot of shots. Yep. All right. Let me just double check my answer. I'm pretty sure I'm correct. All right. Very good. So let's look at the next question. Last year, 1/3 of the Edith Rogers grade 8 students went to the track and field meet at Millwood's athletic field. 5 coaches went too. There were 41 people on the bus, not including the bus driver. How many students were in grade 8 last year? So again, let's read the question, okay? 1/3 of the Edith Rogers grade 8 students went to the track and field meet. So we don't know how many grade 8 students went, but we know that it is 1/3 of it. So I'm just gonna call this as E. So I'm just gonna say E divided by 3, okay? Because it's 1/3. 5 coaches went too. So 5 coaches went as well. So it'll be 5. There were 41 people on the bus. So in total, there are 41. So this one is going to be a two-step equation. So first, I need to subtract 5 on both sides. So I can get rid of the coaches, right? E divided by 3 gets me 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 36. And then after, I'm going to multiply by 3 on both sides. So how many grade 8 students were there? There were actually 108 students. Okay? Okay, 108 students. All right, I'm going to move on. The price of a souvenir t-shirt was reduced by $5. Now, if you reduce something, you have to subtract, isn't it? So subtract $5. John bought 6 t-shirts for his friends. The total cost of the t-shirts before taxes was $90. What is the price of the t-shirt before it was reduced? So I'm just going to draw 6 t-shirts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we don't know how much the t-shirt cost originally, so I'm just gonna call it P. So it's gonna be P minus 5, right? Because the original minus 5. So P minus 5, P minus 5, P minus 5, P minus 5, and P minus 5. So what we need to do is we need to add everything up. So let's add them. P, 2P, 3P, 4P, 5P, 6P. Let's do this. -5, -10, -15, -20, -25, -30 equals 90. This is a two-step equation. I'm going to add 30 on both sides. This one goes away. I should get 6P equals 120. P, you have to divide by 6 on both sides. So each t-shirt before the uh, before the reduction was actually $20, right? And then after it was reduced by $5. So each t-shirt was actually $15. And you can actually double check. If you add up all the 15s, you should add up to $90. Okay? So just pause the video if you need if you need time to follow along. Now let's look at question 6. The fence around Patty's new tree is in the shape of an equilateral triangle. Now an equilateral triangle is a triangle with all sides that are the same. 3 sides are the same. Patty wants to increase the length of each side by 7. Now if you increase, are you adding or are you subtracting? You are adding. Okay, so we don't know what the original, the perimeter of her new fence will be 183. Okay, we don't know her original length, so I'm just gonna call it M. Now, because you need to increase the length of each side by 7, now my new equilateral triangle is M plus 7, M plus 7, and M plus 7. Hopefully all of you can agree with me. The perimeter of her new fence will be 183. Is perimeter outside or is it inside? perimeter is outside, okay? Area is inside, okay? Anyways, we need to add it all up. So m plus 7 plus m plus 7 plus m plus 7, so equals 183. 1m, 2m, 3m, 3m plus 7, 14, 21. 21 equals 183. This is a two-step equation. I have to subtract 21 on both sides. 3m equals 6876. 162. And then you have to divide by 3 on both sides. So I should get, divide by 3 on both sides, m equals to 54. 54 centimeters. So before this like the old fence was actually 54 centimeters, and now my new fence, because you have to add 7 on both sides, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, it'll be 61 centimeters. Okay. All right. One last question. Mrs. Manoog is making a square quilt with a 4 centimeter border around it. She wants the completed quilt to have a perimeter of 600 centimeters. What must the dimensions of the quilt be before Mrs. Manoog adds the border? So we don't know. So this is a square. We don't know what the original was. So I'm just gonna call it Q, 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 Q. And then after, what Mrs. Manoog did was that she actually added a 4 centimeter wide border around it. So this is 4, 4, 4, and 4. So now you actually have a new square around it, isn't it? So let's just look at this, okay? If this is Q, then if you move up, part of this is Q, isn't it? If this is 4, this one is 4. If this is 4, this one is 4. So technically this length is actually Q plus 8. So do you agree with me that this is also Q plus 8? Q plus 8 and Q plus 8. That is actually that's my new length, okay? So we need to add it all up because the perimeter is 600. So Q plus 8 plus Q plus 8 plus Q plus 8 plus Q plus 8 gets me 600. So let's add it. Q, 2Q, 3Q, 4Q plus 8, 16, 24, 32 equals 600. Now this one is a two-step equation, so I need to subtract 32 on both sides. 4Q equals 568, and you have to divide by 4 on both sides. Q equals 142 centimeters. Okay, so I'll just quickly explain to you what this question actually meant. So originally my square was 142 centimeters, and then Mrs. Manoog actually added 4 centimeters around it. Because I added 4 centimeters around it, my new length will have to be 142 plus 8. So this was actually 150. Okay, so that's it for this week's assignment. If you have any questions, just comment down below or just wait till your Google Meet and we'll answer your questions there. All right, have a great day.